Welcome back to Gil's Garage. Today we're going to take you for a little walk around back, show you the projects that are in and some of the work that we're doing right now.
Just going to wander over. Yeah, so this
I
just
heard
came
that
in.
you've got some issues with this one.
That's a very polite way to put it. This poor guy's had a bit of a rough go with this car. He recently had health issues. He used to ride motorcycles, can't ride motorcycles anymore. Decided to get a classic car, bought this one, had it painted so we could enjoy the summer, drove it twice, blew up the original motor. Took it to a shop that was supposedly reputable, recommended by a friend, and this is how we got it back.
I'm not that observant, but I think that the rad might not be quite thick enough for this motor.
Yeah, that's...
Unless they're slowing the water down to keep it in the rad longer with this kink.
They definitely thought something. I hope they thought something.
Hydrodynamically possible.
Yeah.
And have you done a compression test or anything?
We have actually. The motor is healthy, which is a huge saving grace, and the carburetor is rebuilt. Although it's an older carburetor, it is working the way it should, so a lot of it's just the ancillary stuff that we should be able to fix for him and get him back on the road pretty quickly.
Does he need that carburetor on this engine?
It's not that big. It's smaller than it
650?
looks. Yeah, I think it's a 550 actually. It's even smaller than that.
550.
We're not sure if it's a 350 or a 305, but it's a later small block Chevy. It should be a good power plant. So thankfully we can just fix everything around that catastrophe of an engine and get them back on the road.
I don't know what you're going to do with this.
Well, yeah, we'll probably get it out of there and get something better in place. Same as the fan. I love the shortened fan. These things are already known for killing people. Never mind shortening the blades on them.
Jesus. This guy wouldn't have gotten 40 miles down the road before the thing had turned bright red internally.
You've already seen the worst of the things that we removed, like the fuel line came off the side here, draped across the hot post on the back of the alternator, and then went through the air cleaner before finally reaching the carburetor. Actually through the filter element.
So you're cooling the gas.
Yes, and steel line directly on a battery cable. So good enough bump and it would have went up in flames pretty quick.
Nice. And this was an actual shop, not some guy in his garage beside
apparently,
the house?
I don't know, I obviously didn't ask for names, but this was apparently a shop that was recommended by a friend.
Jeez.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a better story. MGTF, it's got hot rod ignition in it, all that fun stuff. Just trying to get it running and back on the road, but it came to life pretty easily.
Just not my favorite car.
Simple.
I always thought I would really like them, and then I drove one.
Yeah.
So, and I just didn't like I like the really old ones.
Yeah.
But they could only do like 35, 40 miles an hour.
You got to think England in the early 50s still was nothing but like small gravel roads everywhere built for horse tracks.
Yeah,
this is all you need.
Didn't like the feel of these.
Yeah, they feel.
Yeah, I'm certainly by myself because there's people who just rave about driving these things. Just
if you want to drive something that feels old, they're great. The parts are cheap.
That one, Spitfire. I love driving Spits.
Yeah,
I mean they're more. I mean that's the only car that. Well, not only because MGB's same thing, but you could be hanging on a corner on the on-ramp onto the major highway, life in your hands.
Yeah.
And like the car just at the maximum ability to corner and pass a cop, he doesn't even look up.
It's because you're only doing 35 miles an hour.
That's right, yeah.
It's wide open.
Get them going fast enough in corner, and the back wheels do this.
Yeah.
And meet each other in the middle of the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the Triumph Club, we also have this guy. Lovely late TR6, but this hasn't been on the road in 25 years.
So we didn't add the dust.
No, we didn't. It came factory installed with the dust, but it's almost spotless. I mean, you know these cars. Look inside of it. Like the carpets are out of it. There's no rust anywhere that these cars normally have rust. It's never been, from what I can see, it's original paint.
Wow, that to me on any of these Brit cars, if you can do that with a rocker and it's not rolled newspaper with Bondo on it, you're way ahead of the game.
It's a special car.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice and clean.
Yeah.
I think the hood springs are worn out.
They're a little tired.
Yeah.
You know.
So not like a clean, but I mean, this guy is keeping this like this.
Yeah, he wants to keep and drive it. So we'll clean all the dirt off it, give it a quick polish and stuff like that. But he just wants to enjoy it.
Yeah, well,
even
just
the
leave it
rust in
alone.
the engine bay. This was full of animals when it came in, like packed in. So that's only there because of the animals. Otherwise, it was spotless.
Yeah, so that's mouse urine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's not through. It's just surface.
No, it's just surface rust. It'll clean up.
You give that. Yeah, you just Scotch Brite that, and it'll be.
Yeah.
You know.
And Blair's already been through it. It runs and sounds great. Most of the rubbers have been replaced. We're just waiting for a couple parts and new tires.
Yeah, brake system okay.
It's
brake lines and.
we had to replace a lot of it. Anything rubber was toast. The tires barely
And
hold
don't
air.
trust the steel lines because they unzip at the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all that's new. All that's brand new, ready to go.
Yeah.
Just waiting on a couple more parts from England, and then we'll get her on the road for them.
This is nice.
Yeah, I got a big soft spot for these.
Yeah, so do I, since we did that little red one years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when somebody just says, you can do anything you want to my Alpha.
Yeah, make it perfect. Yeah.
Make it perfect. These are the best driving car. I mean,
that's why I have such a soft spot for
Yeah.
them. The little motor, the noise that they make, and they rev to the moon and will idle at 500 RPM if you set them up right.
people don't understand how good Italian cars were in period.
Yeah.
The fact that they're delicate is just because they're sort of really stretching the abilities of the car. But holy cow. I mean, I had a 69 Alfa Romeo Duetto, and aside from the fact it had that bloody injection system on it, so it was hard to breathe in it because of the richness of the exhaust. It was the most amazing, just a great handling, pleasurable car to drive. It's as good as anything modern, as far as pleasure is concerned. They don't feel old. Yeah, no, I really like them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Well, you know, I've still got Alphas and a Lancia. And then there's this.
There's one of these. Yeah. Similar story. Hasn't been on the road in a while. It was actually initially came in for brakes.
What
took it
a
to
surprise!
Crazy.
Yeah.
He took it to a shop actually, and they replaced a bunch of parts underneath and still couldn't get it to stop properly. We gave it to Peter, and after going through a correct bleeding and adjustment procedure, the brakes feel fine. And then it was kind of running crappy, so he had us rebuild the carburetors while it's here.
So how did the accumulators?
Actually, they're okay. They're doing their
So they're
job.
maintaining, what, 1,600 pounds?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But 3,200 between the two of them.
Because that's a Citroën system.
Yeah.
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 So
yeah.
take the worst the French have to offer, put it in the worst the British have to offer.
Well, they did it for a reason. It wasn't just out of...
No, I know, but then they went, our clients aren't going to like a button on the floor.
Yeah.
So let's make a
Actually put a pedal.
stupid system on the back with an extra pair of shoes to give them some brake fluid. And then, we have some extra hydraulic left over. Let's turn the suspension into the braking system as well.
It helps. Yeah,
And then
it
put
works.
6 valves in each line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. They stop fantastic for a car that weighs as much as a pickup
Well,
truck.
there is that, as long as it's all working right. But most people can't afford to maintain them so that they're working.
That's
I
the
had
biggest
one, and I said to Janice, the first time this breaks down is I'm turning into a parts car, right? Because it was just temperamental.
Yeah.
And we were taking a client of ours who's a multi-millionaire, and he was in his early 80s, and he was fast asleep in the front. We're coming back from the museum, car museum, and all of a sudden I see this little waft of smoke. It doesn't come out of there. It comes up over the front of the car. I went, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, smoke starts to come in them, and he's fast asleep, and like he's old. And I reach over and I go, Alan, wake up, the car's on fire.
Yeah. Just politely, you know.
And then I pulled over, and because I wanted him to panic. The car's on fire. And it was one of the lines on the accumulator broke, just let all that pressure out. The brake fluid just went all over and started burning.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reason it came out of the front was it had sprayed forward.
Yeah, it was spraying forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a parts car.
It happens quick, unfortunately.
The amount of people I've had who brought their car in and say, I got this a real good deal. I only paid $15,000 for it. Does it need brakes? He says, yeah. How do you know? And over and over and over again. Yep. Because that's when people get rid of them.
Well, this is a perfect example of they spent all the money replacing parts. And I don't know the condition of them before we started, but I've seen these over and over again where people will come in and say that, I need the brake valves replaced or the accumulators replaced. And you sort of take 30 seconds to actually diagnose and you go, no, it's just not bled properly.
Yeah.
Or the low pressure system's not adjusted. Just whoever told you what they were doing didn't know what they were looking at. And now you've spent 10 grand on stuff you didn't
But to be
actually
fair, most shops don't have, the 12 manuals that came with these cars?
That's it. Or,
Right.
or the time to read them.
Oh, yeah.
Figure it out.
And knowing that they didn't put one subject in one manual.
Yeah.
Like the air conditioning is scattered through 5 manuals.
Yeah.
Right? Like
they're good at it.
Well, then that's why they train their mechanics to use the manuals.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that was the whole. The exclusivity of the car was maintained by the complexity of its maintenance.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they were the first ones to do that.
Yeah.
And now everybody does it.
Well, they're so far ahead of their time, I think, is part of it, right? Like the technology wasn't there to do what this thing was capable of in its time period, so it's so overcomplicated with giant
But
relays
honestly,
and switches
I
and
think
wires.
the very last truly great Rolls Royce was the Silver Ghost.
Yeah.
And their entire reputation has been built on one car that they stopped making in 1928.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was a pretty special car.
honestly, though, there is still a feeling you get when you're driving down the road with that in front of you
Yeah.
that no other car provides, and the smell of the interior.
There's something about these and the period Bentleys. There's just a presence about them.
So how are we making out here? So the Diamond T's finally got its back end back.
Diamond T's starting to look like a Diamond T.
Yeah.
I'm doing endless research to figure out the problems with the bed.
Well,
Do you know how unbelievably rare that bed is?
yeah.
I can find 2 other trucks that have on the
I do.
internet that have that bed.
It got sent out. What did the guy? He did the woodwork in it, right?
Yeah, Texas did the woodwork on the inside
I
of
don't
it.
understand why he did the woodwork. We could have done the woodwork.
We could have. I'm not sure what happened there, but detail stuff. So there's trim pieces here that we have, but then there's a seam in the coachwork here, which is supposed to be there. And when the Texas guy gave it back, there were trim pieces over top of that seam. And in one of the 2 trucks I can find, there's no trim pieces there. And the trim pieces he's made don't look Diamond T.
So
They look
then
made up.
don't put them on.
I don't think they're supposed to be there, but we're still doing more research to figure
Yeah.
it out. Derek's been making the fenders fit the running boards, and the running boards fit the body and truck. He's got them almost perfect.
Okay.
He's nailing it.
The lenses,
And the reflectors.
over and over and over again, are too big.
Yeah.
Because they're Chevy lenses, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
My solution to that problem was the Chevy shell is only marginally different. In fact, it's not really different at all. Just it is a little,
Yeah. It's a different diameter light.
just a diameter at the
Yeah.
beginning. Get a pair of Chevy lights,
Yeah.
replace these, and put the lens on. Package these up and send them with the truck as the original parts.
Yeah.
But you're just not going to. I mean, unless he
So-
wanders into a pair of those.
Yeah. So we again with our research with the client and I, if we can't find them, we're going to go with the Chevy lenses. But we figured out that the headlights and the front and rear bumpers are off of Packard. And we figured out the year of Packard. So now we have been going through Diamond T clubs trying to find those parts, but now we're also going through all the Packard clubs trying to find those parts. He thinks he found a rear bumper.
These are.
They're Packard.
If that's Packard, that's a small series car.
Yeah.
So that would
Yep.
be 37, 38.
Yeah. Same with the front and rear bumpers are off of Packard.
Yeah.
So he's pretty sure he's found a rear bumper for us, and he's trying to find the lights for us. And we've got to change these to green. But other than that, it's starting to look really, really good.
Yeah. Oh, this is one of my favorite trucks appearance-wise because it's a big truck.
Oh, yeah.
Even the wheels on this thing, that's a big truck wheel.
It is. Well, that's what makes it so special with that bed on it. That's called the Express bed. And given that this was basically an industrial meant-to-work truck, to have a sport bed on the back of it was unheard of. And this is new as well. This truck's nicknamed Pearl.
I've done a few of these.
Yeah, they're a pretty common swap.
Yeah. They're actually nice trucks. It took me forever to get used to them and sort of like the front end because
Yeah.
to me, I like the earlier trucks, and over the last 5 or 6 years, I sort of look at these, going, I don't mind that. That's sort of cool.
This one's very utilitarian compared to the version before it and the version after it, but
Yeah.
they still look pretty nice. This was a basement barrel sort of option truck. It has drum brakes, no power steering, and the original 6-cylinder with a 3-speed. So we found a 427 for him. It bolts up to his original 3-speed, we get to keep his transmission rear end. And he wants power steering and power brakes, so we can enjoy it a
So
bit more.
sort of like the Dodge over there.
Exactly.
Making it more drivable.
This one we can buy kits for, which is nice though, as
It's like
opposed to making
Janice's
it all.
58. I mean, it was a wonderful truck, but we never drove it because,
It's high strung to do it. Yeah.
and we ended up selling it off, and now I think it's in Hawaii or something, and I mean, the guy's at least using it, but we just never used it because, should we take the 50? Nah, let's just take the car,
It's the same issue with the MG that you just brought up though too, right? It's just they don't go fast and they weren't made to. So you try to go anywhere with
Yeah.
them. You got to take back roads and side streets and
Yeah. And Metal Shop is perking.
yeah, Metal Shop's flowing really well. Kyle's really been making massive progress on the Galaxie. Almost looks like a car again. Between Kyle, Braden, and Miles, they've been knocking out the Nova. So the other rear quarter's just about ready to go on, and then it's actually done metalwork. We're waiting for the chassis then. But this one, Kyle's had to remake that whole rear quarter panel, all the inner structure that goes with the quarter panel, all pretty much from scratch.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of body panels in that for these.
Not a lot's available, and we were able to find rear quarter panels, but they're not close. So they needed heavy modification to make them right.
And you know what? it costs so much to make them right
Yep.
that you may as well just completely fabricate or,
In one area, we have just completely fabricated it.
And this one's just not moving ahead at this point?
This one's been slow progress, but we finally got the green light to start making big gains on it again. So we've got most of the floor and everything done. The firewall's all done. We're into the rear suspension, and once that's filed in, then we can start on the fun stuff with the outside of the car.
Seats.
Yeah, they're in. Look at them.
Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah. Client requested.
Can't they be a little bit, I don't know.
No.
You do know that there's got to be a headliner put in there, right?
Yeah. No, they're on the floor.
What's that?
They're on the floor.
I know. Yeah, I mean, they're too tall.
They are definitely tall. I mean, there's room for a headliner.
I know, but double bubble it.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
You could double bubble this.
100% I would.
Why not?
It's not my car.
Tell them about how great double bubble cars are.
It would look good. It would separate.
Even the Viper's got a double bubble.
Yeah. Which is a new, yeah.
Because, I mean, that's how you gave people headroom in cars that were too low.
A lot, yeah.
But you know that? Of course, it might look a little silly on a Maverick.
But we're trying to replicate that Ford GTD.
Huh. Well,
That's something to explore.
so you've been busy.
You could say that.
Yeah, this is what happens when I go away for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we try to make progress.
Yeah. Oh, good. I have to admit, I think my two favorite cars in here right now are that little Alfa and the 63 Corvette, which you should never send home.
We'll ask the client, see if he's okay with that.
Yeah, give him a call.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well,
That's everything new. Didn't miss out on
let him
much.
go home now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't miss out on much.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for watching Guild's Garage.
Oh, that's it?
Oh, you want more? Oh, okay, well, all right. Well, thank you very much for watching Guild's Garage. This is more, right? Thank you very much for watching Guild's Garage. And, oh yeah, I remember. Can you like and subscribe and, for crying. Well, thank you, thank you very much for watching Guild's Garage. For better or worse, there's going to be more episodes. And oh, there's something else. Oh yeah, the like and subscribe thing. Can you please like and subscribe and oh, the bell. Oh, ring the bell. Yeah, can you, whatever the bell does, can you please ring it? Because I don't know.